What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Fogel, and today we have the arrival of two behemoths, which are Psyche and Kusanagi. And they've definitely made a few changes compared to the trailer that we originally saw, especially for Psyche, which I'm actually very, very happy to see. Now, in the card banner, it's pretty much the same, set that we had. Well, in fact, it is the exact same set that we have in the other banner, which is actually really good because if you pull in both of these banners, which I know a lot of people might not, but there's going to be quite a few players that do, you actually might be able to get the full complete set a little bit easier if you're just doing one pity in each banner for these card sets. So that's actually really good. It's always nice to see that the cards are in both separate banners, especially regarding their set cards. However, when it comes to 3PGs, obviously you're going to have to pull in the banner for the specific type of character for their actual 3PG to get. But Kusanagi's 3PG pretty much screams support buff. Increases active skill damage of all allies, including self, by 35% for 10 seconds after using the skill. Badass looking skill, but it's definitely looking like a support skill, and that's a pretty big support. And then Psyche, this is just damage. So this is already an indication, guys, like he's increasing his own critical damage by 25%. This is already an indication as to where both of these characters are actually going to be set. By the way, the artwork on those cards are absolutely amazing. So the first character I want to take a look at is Kusanagi. Now, he is a yellow balanced type fighter. He increased the yellow element fighter attack by 70%, which is pretty damn awesome, guys. And when you go into his core effects, you can take a look at some of the things that he offers. So his striker skill increased all teammates active skill damage by 40% for 10 seconds. Massive. Increased active skill damage of yellow element fighters by 17.5%. So he's going to be an insane striker for Psyche. But as you'll read further, you'll find out that you might want to use him on the team instead. But if you only have him at level 90, just level 90, not awaken level 90, then he's still going to be a really, really good striker for your yellow fighters. These are some big, big buffs, even if it's just a level 1 striker bonus. It's actually pretty cool. Then you have your ultimate break, which, increases active skill damage of all team members, including self, by 25% for 20 seconds upon use. Really nice to see that it lasts for 20 seconds. And the increased active skill damage of all team members by 25% is pretty big, guys. So again, support, right? Including buffing his own self. And then the Phantom Ultimate Break, right, will also give you that 25% increase to all team members' active skill damage. But if the target is a yellow element fighter, active skill cooldowns decrease by 1 second. So the way that I'm reading this is if you have a yellow fighter on the team, which Psyche is, then you're going to decrease his skill cooldown by 1 second. And this skill's active skill damage received increase effect is multiplied by 1.5%. So some big damage buffs from his Phantom UE skill. Pretty massive. And then you can see the active skill damage, guys. Whenever you have 1 bar, 27.5% increase. When you have 2 bars, 55%. And when you have 3 bars, 55%, right? But you'll get the competitive spirit at 3 bars. Now, when you look at the rest of his core, increased attack by 500%, the 30% PG rate, he's got critical damage by 350%. So, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be weak, guys. That's some pretty big buffs, with the increased attack by 5%, the critical damage by 350%, increased strike skill damage and blast skill damage by 200%. Nice buffs. When competitive spirit effect is not active, resets active skill cooldowns after active skills are used 3 times. Then enters the competitive spirit state, right? And this is the effect that you need in order to get this buff right here, all right? Let's read a little bit further. When competitive spirit is active, resets active skill cooldowns after active skills are used 3 times, then removes competitive spirit after 4 seconds. If competitive spirit is removed with the above effect, competitive spirit cannot be gained again for 15 seconds. So it has a 15-second cooldown on this thing. And then if competitive spirit is active, using the finisher skill removes the competitive spirit effect and increases the active skill damage of all teammates, excluding self, by 80% for 20 seconds. Wow. So whenever you're playing with Kusanagi, especially if you're using him as a support, you want to make sure that the competitive spirit is active, and you want to use the finisher skill to remove it. That way you can increase the active skill teammate damage by 80%. That's a massive buff. The heat of battlefield core effect is multiplied by 1.5 for yellow element fighters. And then immune to fear, stun, burn, and darkness. Decreased damage received by 80%, making him quite a bit of a tank. He has a damage immunity core. And then increases active skill damage by 250%. Wow. Okay. We've already read over all those things. Let's take a look at his skills. So his first skill is a grab skill. And, you know, of course, you got the phantom damage, guys. It's an interrupt skill. But it's got some PvP interesting effects going on where it removes target's damage reflect and disables damage reflect for 10 seconds, okay? And then removes target's hyper armor, super armor, and critical edge shield, right? Which could make him pretty devastating, at least in PvP. Then this is a strike skill where we have hyper armor for 5 seconds. We can stun the target for 3.5 seconds upon landing a skill. So you have to land a skill even with the guard to get the stun. And then you have a big deal physical damage by 5,000%. Those are those numbers we really like to see. And then the third skill is a blast skill, and it decreases the target defense by 80%, increases target damage received by 100%, making him more of a support, but also just self-buffing himself. And then he deals the burn damage equal to 1,500% attack to the target every 0.3 seconds for 3 seconds upon landing a skill. I wish this was longer than 3 seconds, like 10 seconds, 12 seconds, but it's all good, right? And then his finisher increases momentum by 20% while in use. Now, this might come into play, especially against Aegis Challenge, because we all know that momentum is a catalyst to overpower. The more momentum you have, the more damage you're going to deal to characters that have overpower, which the Alexandrite is going to have, or whatever Aegis Challenge boss is going to have. So this might actually help do a lot more damage. We'll have to see how that plays out. And then we have all these things. We get the striker skill, which we've already went over. It really is an insane striker skill. You also get a shield for yellow fighters. That's actually pretty damn dope. So let's take a look at his skills really quick. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. He definitely seems a bit faster than the SS version. Oh, I love this voice actor, man. So good. Freaking beast. And some people might be upset, you know, that he might end up being just a really good support. But guys, this is the beginning of UE fighters. I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty damn strong. But the fact that he's probably going to be a really good support is really good. Characters that have these kinds of buffs, they really do last the test of time in the game. So I'm actually very happy with what I've seen so far. I'm going to have to play him, going to have to get him, but I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing so far. And then we take a look at Psyche, right? Who increases chaos type fighters attack by 70%. And when you look at his core effect, right? His striker skill inflicts phantom damage, decreases the target movement speed by 80% for 0.23 seconds. I mean, it doesn't really, I mean, the deal darkness damage is good, but it's not really the greatest striker effect. And then when you use your UE skill, enhances basic attack to 3 hit attacks for 5 seconds upon use. Enters arrogant state upon use regardless of conditions met. All right, we'll have to read further what that actually regards. And then his Phantom UE skill actually will reset all of his skills, enhances basic attacks to 3 hit attacks again. And then you can see, guys, with 1 bar, increase basic attack damage by 3,300%, which kind of leads you to believe where his basic attacks are actually going to be pretty potent. Arrogance cannot be removed, right? And then with 3 bars, increase basic attack damage by 6,600%. He has increased attack by 700%. Wow. 30% PG rate, blast skill damage by 250%. Critical rate and critical damage, guys, are insane. 30%, 300%. His CP is going to be bonko. Becomes arrogant when using active skill 1, 2, and 3 once each. So when you use all 3 of the skills, you're going to have what's called arrogant. And arrogance increases basic damage by 3,000%. So you're going to want to use all 3 of your skills so you get that 3,000% buff on your basic attack. And then whenever you use your active skill 1 and 2, it activates when landing a base attack while arrogant, and then arrogance is removed. So if you do like your all 3 of your skills, and then you do you'll have this 3,000% buff. But if you use like the 1 and 2 after you've activated it, you're going to lose that arrogant buff. And then gains Merciless for 8 seconds when defeating an enemy. Merciless increases critical damage by 30%, up to 300% on top of the 300% that he already has, which means he can go up to 600% critical damage, guys. That's freaking insanely massive. And then he has a 20% chance to gain Merciless upon landing an active skill on an elite enemy or a boss. So when I first read this, you know, it says, you know, you gain Merciless when defeating an enemy. And I thought, oh man, so like in Gilrig, Lost Boss Dungeon, he's not going to be very good. But the fact that they threw in the 20% chance to gain the Merciless effect, where you can gain this critical damage on an elite enemy or boss, means that he still will be godly against those bosses. And then immune to Petrify, Fear, Stun, Burn, and Darkness. Has a damage immune core. He has a nice decreased damage to Seed core by 80% when Arrogance is not active. And if it is active, it's 85%, which is awesome. And then he increased basic attack damage by 2,000%, which is pretty wild. And when we look at his first skill, it is a blast skill, and it decreases target movement speed by 80%. This is going to be really, really annoying, especially in PvP, guys. Like, even the original version of Psyche has a decreased movement speed, and it was godly annoying when he first showed up in the game. If you are into PvP, very useful when you're playing with a character that has this, but it's not fun to go against characters that do have it. You literally just watch them go in slow motion, especially by 80%. That's pretty damn massive. That's going to give you a lot of time to avoid danger, to get to the other side, to do certain attacks. It's a powerful effect, especially for PvP. But in PvE, it could also be pretty damn useful. And then deals darkness damage equal to 1,000% of attack to the target every 1 second for 10 seconds. A very powerful DAP effect that he's got going on that first skill. And then his second skill, decreased target defense by 80%, increased damage received by 100% for 13 seconds. He has 5 seconds of hyper armor. Very, very nice. And then the third skill is a grab skill. And this applies stun and fear to the target upon landing a skill. So you have to land the skill, even if a guard is included, to be able to apply fear and stun. And this is that grab where he kind of jabs through them. Pretty damn cool. And then it also resets active skill cooldowns, which means all 3 of the skills, and it has a 20-second cooldown. So you actually be able to run through your skills really, really quickly. However, with his core and the basic attack damage increase after just doing the first 3 skills, we're just going to have to see how that actually plays out as far as how you play him to get the most damage possible. And then his finisher, he resets active skill cooldowns, enters the arrogant state upon use, regardless of conditions, which is pretty damn awesome, right? And then we have the striker bonus, which we've already kind of went over. So let's take a look at his skills. Now, here's something that I really, really like, and I didn't know this until I actually looked at the skill preview. Look at Psyche. He's got the cloak around him, just like in the original game. So I'm actually really, really happy that Netmarble did this. Now, my critique about it is, I really wish we would have the original version of Psyche change into this version, like a transformation skill. That would have been so sick, but it is what it is. I guess we're just gonna have to make do with what we got, but it's still awesome. And he looks, I mean, I just love that they gave him the original look. Looks badass. And his skills, I mean, guys, I think this is gonna hit you from no matter where you're at on the screen, right? I mean, the way it looks, I mean, look at that, guys. It's like an invisible teleportation ball that's going out. You don't even see the ball coming out of him, right? That or it's just super fast and my blind butt can't see it. That is insane. And then the second skill, that's going to be very, very fast. Love the music also. And then the third skill, oh yeah. Woo! Woo! I mean, that's a vicious looking skill. And I bet you anything that's going to cancel really, really quickly whenever you're just going running through your skills, like say in Guild Raid or whatever game mode. And then the finisher. Love it. Look at all those hits, man. Wow. And then the 3PG, which is really the highlight for me. And they changed his 3PG too. Look at his 3PG. They actually changed it. So, I mean, it almost makes me wonder if they watched like my video or maybe someone else's video and people complained about it and they were like, no, you know what, we're going to change this up a little bit, because in the original version, this wasn't like this. You could see all the detail in his face, and they actually changed it to where now it's just like that black cloak, which is exactly how it is in the original game. Yes, it's a different viewing, right? It's it's obviously a 2D game in the original game, and it's a side view, and we're getting a front view of this version of the 3PG or the Super. But man, I'm really, really happy that they did that. I just really, really wish, I feel like we get so teased because we see this version. I just wish we had a transformation skill on old boy. But other than that, he looks pretty insane, guys. Will he be stronger than, the characters that we've recently gotten? We'll find out. But I gotta say, man, he looks like he's OP as hell. We already know he's going to be because he's a UE character. Both these characters look insane, and I will be pulling for them on my free-to-play account. You guys can see the amount of rubies that I have. So I'll be doing my pulls at 5 p.m. GMT plus 7 time, which is exactly 2 hours after the posting of this video. So hopefully I'll see y'all there on Twitch, and let me know what you guys think about Psyche and Kusanagi. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. Gene Blitz 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.